it back. I can't hold it back.
Hey everybody, good evening and welcome to the sixth episode of Streaming Hot. Wow, I have reached the sixth week and thank you for staying with me. Thank you for spending your Sunday evenings with me, even for just an hour. And of course, I'm just so happy that I get to reach this far and I get to continue doing this because this is really quite a great way to just kind of like have an outlet, a creative outlet, despite all the restrictions of the pandemic and of the quarantine. So, and of course, the fun conversations are only made possible because of the wonderful guests that I've had in the past, and I have a lot more people lined up for the next weeks, especially the February month is coming, and it's an arts month. And you know that I'm very much in that kind of spectrum of being the person that you know me. So I'm just gonna put together artists and talk about art for the whole month of February. But tonight it's gonna be something special. Last week we had a wonderful conversation with attorney Jobert Peña Florida, and I have been receiving wonderful feedback about how that episode was so informative. And we talked about the plans for Dinagyang 2021. And as early as now, you could probably read the news or watch the stuff online or on television about the plans for the Dinagyang 2021. And I'm personally excited for the live event that we will be a part of. But we'll just leave it at that and maybe, give you more as we get nearer to the actual event. And this weekend, I just want to share that we had our Rojas weekend part two with Kebs. We took a weekend drive to Rojas City. We love seafood and we love the vibe of Rojas City. We love the people there. I just want to say a special shout out to everyone, to our friends there in Rojas City who kept us company. Especially during mealtime. We love that. And the evenings, spending it over drinks. Thank you to attorney Danielle Delphine. It was so nice to catch up with you and to see you after a long time. Ivan Limhuko, Marika Constantino. Of course, we had Cheche Del Rosario and Clement Acevedo. Thank you so much, guys, for just, putting up with us with our weird cravings and our weird schedule. And of course, the road trip was made even more fun with our Iloilo friends, Daniela, Drew, and Charmy. Thank you guys. And it was also nice to catch up with Brian Liao, who's also there in Rojas City. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope that your weekend had been great. And I hope that you guys always stay safe and stay well. This past few days, we have been bombarded with a lot of negative information that we see on the news, on the media, a lot of things happening. So I can just, if I may just say, you guys, you can actually limit the toxicity of information that you get because it can take its toll on us unnecessarily. So maybe a little bit of a good balance for your mental well-being, and you guys stay away from that and focus on your balance, mind and body, because it's very important to stay well. And tonight's episode is a one-on-one interview again. This is just going to be a second time around that I have a one-on-one because I realized that having a one-on-one interview gives you an opportunity to actually explore the discussion and the conversation better. And I feel like I'm Karen Davila or like I'm Amampur or something. And, and I would love to get your comments as we talk about tonight's topic on creativity. We will explore, how creativity can actually also define you, not just as a person, but also as someone to think that creativity can actually be translated into a career, and how creativity can be monetized, or how you package yourself, how you brand yourself. Because nowadays we all have our digital brand, and this discussion can really help not just the young ones, but also those people who just want to understand exactly how creativity can be such a phenomenal industry, an industry where it's highly subjective, and standards can vary from the most mundane to the most, yeah, to high art and stuff like that. So my guest tonight is someone I consider as my equal as far as creativity is concerned. But what many people probably do not know is he is a former student of mine at the University of the Philippines. He was my student in Com 1. And for those who are not from UP, Com 1 is a class for first year students, for freshmen. And I remember him as my student because he was one of those very few who who wrote the compositions very very well, with a very strong command of the English language. It's something that it's not entirely like a rare thing, because a lot of UP students are really already intelligent when they enter the university. But this guy left a very decent impression on me as someone who can really really write. And so I kept an eye on him, and later I think he was one of the few students who got flat one in that GE course in Com 1, and a few others who, but I don't give out one in a GE subject that easily. So I guess, yeah, he enjoyed that, that reward for having such talent in that, department. And we became very good friends. I actually asked him to work with me in some of our productions. We started hanging out. It things just fell into place. We had a very good connection as far as yeah, yeah, creativity. We talked about everything under the sun. So we got him for Sikat Academy. He helped us out there in that workshop, and then he became our stage manager for our production, Glorious. And well, make the long story short, basically, he became part of our creative team, and we would consult him, and he would consult us back, whatever he wanted to do. And he became part of SM City marketing team, until he decided to study abroad and to move to Australia. So tonight's conversation is 3 hours apart. Him being 3 hours, ahead of us. So this is already late in Australia, and yes, he is based in Wollongong City. I'm so happy I was able to say that. It's something that I had to practice before finally putting him on air. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited, and I'm also very honored to have him here with me for Streaming Hot. Please welcome my dear friend, Ivan Mark Cedullo. Hi, Dai.
Kulol ba? Ang intro, gakodlaw lang ko kay grabe nga intro. Oh my God, nahuya na lang ko kay.
But
Hi
those
guys!
were facts, right? Those were like
Yeah,
the real stuff. Yeah.
but disclaimer, I don't think I got a 1. Wala ko yung nag-una.
Oh, you
So, 1
didn't?
to 5 lang ko may absent ko yata. Oh, I don't know.
Really? Oh, yeah, that's something worth checking. I'm not sure because I felt like you got the highest grade. You
Okay,
and I don't know,
Bob.
Bob, I think also, just the two of you,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
And I think Bob, yeah, because of his Louis Vuitton bag, I think.
Hi Bob, if you're watching.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I hope you're doing well there in Australia. Prior to this live stream, I was already conversing with Ivan, checking out on him. But just for the benefit of our viewers who are increasing by the minute, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. How is Australia, or at least your city right now? You're in Wollongong. It is 1 hour, a little more than an hour away from Sydney. Can you just give us a picture of how it is there now so far as where you move about?
Yeah, so I think December time everything was back to normal, whatever normal means. It felt like that we were out everywhere, partying or going to restaurants and all that stuff, so you could just do whatever you want. And then something happened by December 23rd or something,
Mhm,
and we were back in, we call it minor lockdown because everyone
mhm,
was required to wear face masks. It was a bit of a shame because it was 2 days before the holidays, the Christmas day. So it, yeah, and now we're still in that situation where we are required to wear face mask and hindi kami kalaga without face masks. And
Yeah.
it's been like that for 14 days. What day is it? 8. Yeah, almost 20 days now. So we got a
But
little bit of a
statistically,
taste
is
of
there a spike? Statistically, is there a
um
spike in numbers?
no, not really. I would say relative to other countries. In our
Mm-mm.
state, for example, today we only had 3, so it averages from, I would say, 3 to 8 every day. So okay, good siya. Do ka
But that
ma-contain
already
it.
gives them like parang the 3 to 8 yeah para sa ila, it's already a cause to be alarmed, no? Like,
Grabe,
big deal.
grabe. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think the different thing about this one, this time around, this kalat siya sa bilog nga sa Amon State, sa New South Wales. So kalat siya, unlike before where
Yeah.
there's just a cluster in one, in like the eastern suburbs, for example. But
Yeah.
subong, like kalat gid siya. So amo nang scary nga part. But yeah, they contain it very much, so very quickly. So thankful and very
But
lucky to
you
be
you are you are feeling safe where from your point to point where you move around, okay ka lang yan. You're not too worried about it, or what have you been trying to avoid?
yeah, just really avoiding, I think, making contact with people. But other than that, it's yeah, I feel safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Robin
Well,
and
other than
Amy.
yeah, Mana, Amy, and Robin sent their hi to you. Everybody here,
Yeah.
I'm sure, our barkada, they're all watching us, and probably wondering why are we so formal and not like our
Yeah.
regular selves here. But hey, this is
Yeah,
a
I know.
public
Oh my
broadcast, so
God.
we have to
My
behave
shirt
ourselves.
is
You
open.
have to button up, man, or are you buttoning down?
I'm buttoning up. Shout out to Christine Rojo for my
Okay.
shirt. Naging padalaya gid sa
Oh
Australia.
yeah. Oh, yung padalaya da. Oh
Yung
my God.
padalaya gid ni through
Wow.
chin. Yeah. Last
Yeah.
Christmas.
I hope Christine is watching. Hi, Tin. I miss you guys, SM friends. It's been a long time. Nagidban wala. Nagi kami ka events that that's something that you cannot just do
Do.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Do you miss your SM family, Van?
No. Charot lang. Yeah, I do. I miss the different kind of stress, I think. And the
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. We'll get to the
Yeah.
stress
And the
part
social
later.
life.
But since I
Yeah.
gave that amazing introduction, I think we have to give justice to it. Introduction about you. So we have to give justice to
Oh my
that.
God. Yeah,
let's
okay.
let's talk about creativity. I think kasi I really like in my mind now, Van, with this live stream that
Mm.
I'm doing, it started with just a passion project, but I wanted this now not to be something na people will learn from, whether you're my friend or you're not, because this is streaming very publicly. So yeah, that's basically parang the
The
icing
premise of
on the
it.
cake,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's really something I want them to take away something. So I will share with you that responsibility tonight. I'm just kidding. But yeah, okay, Van, let's start with I really meant it when I say I feel you are my equal in creativity, because you actually impress me all the time. Although I may disagree with you sometimes, but the fact that you don't run out of ideas make me admire you. It's something that not many people would be able to pull off, especially if, let's say, I'm not saying that I'm trying to intimidate or I'm intimidating, but sometimes my I can be very over forwardly, or like I'm overbearing. So you move beyond that. So before getting into that, can you help us and like tell us what is your concept of creativity? How do you understand creativity, and why do you think I mean, why is it important, or why is creativity a powerful force?
I just wanted to say to everyone, wala akong in-brief ni Bob ko anong topic tonight. So,
Because you
okay.
don't want to.
Which is good, which speaks so much about what we're talking tonight, like
So
creativity.
sorry.
Like,
Actually, do ano nagid ko nga hambalan ta ka
yeah,
kada tingin ko ala do ka academics ang among discussion. Pero
yeah.
no, I mean, I'm sure galing kid do naka ano na no, medyo bust ka na da. Sige na lang. Oh, but
No,
anyway.
no, it's okay. I think what I'm trying to say is that which speaks so much about, I think, what my definition of creativity is. Because for me, I think creativity is problem solving.
Mhm.
So many people associate the word creative or creativity to visual arts only, or to music only, or to the
Mhm.
performative arts. But I
Mhm.
think creativity as a word is something that people should have in order to solve problems. Like, and I think when you said now we are equals in that regard, I think it's because we come from a place where we didn't have much and we know how to
Right.
be creative in approaching things. And a lot of people might not have creativity or the power to innovate or to be innovative is because they they didn't have to do that when they were younger or are they growing up. Whereas kita siguro, because we did not have the privilege to have everything that we wanted or we have to work hard for something that we wanted, that makes us creative in a way in getting things that we want, and that affects how our brain works. I think that for me is my definition of creativity. And it's not only about music, it's not only about arts, but it's about how you solve problems in ways that other people might not be able to think of. So yeah, in a nutshell, though muna siya yung ako yung definition of creativity
Yeah,
kay
I think that's a perfect definition, and a definition that is rarely explored because
uh,
people understand creativity only in that most tangible manner, or only on the artistic and like more of the obvious lang, which is like the
yeah,
performing art, visual arts. To because that's how people would want to define it because of the word create, not to be a creative. But true, I mean, to just also add to what you said, I mean, even in finding jobs nowadays, when companies say they are looking for someone creative, they don't actually mean someone who can paint or draw or
yeah.
yeah, I mean, they actually mean creative disposition, creative
Yeah.
abilities.
Yeah. And I think it was last year when share ko sa akin Instagram that I'm not sure if it's LinkedIn or another institution na
Yeah,
nagpost about the number one skill that employers want from their employees in 2020 and 2021 is
yeah,
creativity. And oh no, it's United Nations actually. I think it's United
yeah.
Nations who posted that creativity and innovation are the two skills that employers are looking for in their future employees. And that speaks so much about what the definition of creativity is. 'Cause especially sa aton, di ba, like sa elementary ta, you only get the most creative award if you paint all the time from school. But then I think
Yeah.
that line of defining what creativity is needs to change and ever
Yeah.
since you were younger, because I would like to think na if you're a math wizard, you're also creative,
Mhm.
just in a different way. Like your brain works differently from others, and that for me is being creative. So yeah,
And I super agree with what you said. Na during our time, yeah, we did not have the means to have the things that will kind of satisfy our creative needs because it wasn't easy. So tama gito nga, we
yeah,
find ways, 'di ba? Napakabili. We find ways. As in nangita tayo ways yeah, how to express ourselves creatively even with the little stuff that we had. So it really, that's why I was gonna ask you also, is it gonna pose some problems of creativity for the younger generation now that it seems that every whim, every want, every desire can actually be fulfilled very, very instantaneously? Do you think that will pose a problem as far as the range of creativity is concerned?
I think it's not about the problem. I think it's more about them becoming generic. Like
Yeah.
I think that the depth of what creativity means is lost because everybody just is becoming generic. Like for example, talking about film, I've been
Yeah.
talking about this
Yeah.
to my friends all the
Yeah.
time. I feel like Netflix, the birth of Netflix and streaming services
Yeah.
has this is might be a controversial statement, so please don't quote me on this. But this might be I feel that people's taste in films or TV shows have decreased because of streaming services like Netflix, and this is the
Mhm.
same issues that directors, for example, share worldwide is because you don't get the essence of what cinema is really when you're watching on your computer. But
Mhm.
then that also breeds another what do you call this argument that pwede siya mag-fuel for other creatives to think differently on how to approach a film or a
Mhm.
media
Yeah.
because they have another avenue to explore.
Yeah.
Going back to your question of whether people might not be as creative as was before, I don't think that argument can be
Mm.
applied to that. It's more of how do you find
I
that
think there's
unique
just gonna be a
standpoint.
paradigm shift lang siguro, Van,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's
I
about
think there
how
will
you
just be a paradigm
find.
shift.
Yeah, I think it's how you find your
Yeah.
standpoint as a creative more than anything. So, yeah, how do you stand out from the rest? Because there are so many of you now, and there are so many ways
Yeah.
that people see your work. Like
Yeah.
post on Instagram, post on everything. So, how do you like? You don't want to be on Twitter. And so, I was thinking before this now.
Yeah.
So we are all on Twitter, and now I realized that you don't want to be on Twitter because you want to be a rebel. I think Twitter rebels are just rebels without a cause. That's it. Though,
So
ano
wait,
mi
you are not on Twitter anymore?
I have an account, but I just read news. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on Facebook. Yay! Anyway,
Oh my
yeah, I mean,
gosh.
ano sa Instagram, I don't know. I think people follow it. Like, damo sa mga activist pages that are so creative
Oo.
in telling people
Yeah.
information and infographics. And I think that's a really good way of pushing someone's
Mhm.
creativity, especially overlapping social impact. Bala these days, na like, how
Yeah.
do you meet or solve the world's problems with your creativity? I mean, kung sa mga damo
Pero
sa Instagram, sa mga,
is that level of intellectual creativity going to in a way kind of engage the bigger crowd, or is it a specific niche lang nga parang you cater only to the like-minded people who are interested in what you've got to say? Kasi I'm already going now to my parang second question, no? Because you are a content creator, you are actually hired to do a little bit of that on the digital marketing aspect. So how does that play a part in the content creation?
I think you're correct when saying that it's very nichey, but
Mm-mm.
it makes you also curate your content effectively because you know who your target audience is. So now,
Mm.
but then for me, the question begins: when do you know your target audience, especially on social media? Like, is it
Yeah.
before you become a content creator, or is it after you become a content creator? Like, where do you
Uh-huh.
explore that? Doon mo na. For me, it's yeah, very niche, gid man siguro. But there's also opportunity there to create content specifically for those audience. Okay, I don't think there's nothing wrong with just focusing on one part
Yeah.
of being
Yeah.
creative or creating content for a specific type of audience. I think you'll be able
Mm-mm.
to become a better artist or a better
Mm-mm.
creative if you know how to cater to one and then learn from that and how to scale that idea up. So, I don't know.
When you
Am I
when
making
when you
sense here?
post, yeah, yeah, you are making sense. I mean, what you're actually saying, as far as how I understand it, is while it is niche, it
Yeah,
can offer actually a window of opportunity to you for your voice to have a platform that can actually be picked up by a particular niche of your choice. But sometimes it's not knowing. Does the
yeah,
niche develop before you start posting, or before
yeah,
you start creating, or after? So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I really get it. So now I want to ask you, when you post something on your social media right now, I think you're only very active on Instagram. How
Very,
much thought
very.
do you give in your post? Do you think about it a lot before actually posting? Because you know me, I am very impulsive. Although I get to decide quite lengthily what I want to post, but for me it's framed. I frame my messages, and then later on, if I regret it, I delete it, which is a very bad habit for a content creator. But I admit to that weakness. But how about you? How do you work around your content before posting? What
I
happens?
think I think mix. It depends on where I am that day. I think when I'm out somewhere or
Yeah.
I'm in a nice location where I have to Instagram everything, and that's when I
Mm-mm.
impulsively post. But I think I really want to make sure that what I'm posting is something that will be relevant to everybody. That like not
Yeah.
only a specific group of people can relate. Like if I
Yeah.
post a sunrise or a sunset, I think a lot of people would appreciate a sunrise or a sunset. But if I post a photo of I don't know, something na 15 people lang ang makarelate daw amo na guro akong mindset towards posting. And sometimes may mga moments kid kuya nga, oh my god, I just really want to post something that will inform people and then blah blah blah. But sometimes you're just like, really, do I really want to spend time doing this? But
So I think man wala pa gid man nadula sa imo pagka taga UP mo
wala pa rin
after all
dula.
these years. Yeah.
Wala pa. But
Okay.
yeah, naman ko. Yeah. Go.
Van, take us back to your Australian journey. How did you choose your degree and how did you choose your university? Because di ba you started out at the capital of Australia
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
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 Take us back. Take us back.
Okay, when was this? July 2017, I think. Yeah, July 2017.
Mhm.
I got an email from my aunt, thankfully, very lucky again, that
Yeah.
I have a visa going to Australia
Yeah.
because I got denied, number one,
Mm.
before
Mm.
July 2017. And I think
Mhm.
December 2016, I got denied for a visa because I didn't pay for my studies. And
Mm.
then July 2017, little did I know that they were processing and all that stuff. So I got the visa. I was working Friday. I flew to Manila until Friday. I flew to Manila Monday. And then nag-abot ko di sa Australia. I went to Canberra because I have a family, akong aunt, cousins, uncle. And then I started at ANU. I
Mm.
took a graduate certificate in management. Kaya akong pathway that time is graduate certificate siya, which is zero point 0.5 years plus
Mm.
1.5 years, which will add up as a master's degree. And then
Yeah.
after that, after ko graduate certificate, nag-graduate, gig ko lang katayang ko graduation. Kalinga ba ko, daw mas nami siguro sa iba na school and also cheaper
Mm.
because
Yeah.
ANU is just like
Super expensive.
$60,000 a year.
Oh
So
my
hindi ko siya
gosh.
reasonable na cost. So nag-move ko sa Wollongong, and when I came here, it just reminded me of Rojas City. Um,
Oh my god.
as in, like, ang geography, ang feeling daw Rojas. So
Oh my
nag-move
gosh,
ko din,
really? Oh.
like,
But
grab daw Rojas
Canberra
City.
did not have a beach, no? Canberra
No,
does not
because
have a
it's in
beach.
the middle of everywhere. Doesn't
Oh
have a.
my god. And
You
the
have to travel.
certificate you took at ANU was the digital marketing one. Is that the one?
No, this was a management course that covers
Ah,
marketing, manage
mm-mm.
project management, comms, and another stuff that I forgot. Global something, HR or whatever.
And then
Those things are management.
the final
Yeah,
degree is
the final degree is IT strategic management, which I took as a master's degree here in Wollongong that I finished in 2 years, and
yeah,
that's
with
when I
distinction.
graduated.
Yeah.
With distinction. Yeah. Yeah.
My god, my friends are so smart, guys. Trust me. You know.
No, I think
Yeah.
yeah, I think as Filipinos we have an advantage in a way that we have a really good command of the English language, so it's not hard to study abroad.
How was
So
it like being Asian and studying in Australia? How was it like?
um ooh, that's a good question, but I want to know, like, how is it like in terms of living here or like uni life, you mean?
I guess my what I really want to ask is like what did you actually experience some sort of discrimination or may mga ganung challenges being quite different from Australians that they know or we know of.
Uh, I think if you don't think about it, about
Yeah.
being discriminated, you won't
Yeah.
feel it. Like, but
Ah.
if you are the person who's like, oh, what are they doing? Or nga amo na sila sa akong magtulog,
Mm-mm.
that's when you
Mm-mm.
feel bad. But when you just
Mm-mm.
shrug it off and take it, it's like, water off a duck's back. Na daw, wala
Mm-mm.
lang. I think it
Yeah.
won't really affect your mindset. But there are really explicit ways where someone can feel really discriminated. Like, kagi ko siguro na ginasinggitan ka sa dalan, dumama mo na bala, but yeah,
Yeah.
so what?
But you just
When
shrug it
you,
off, no?
yeah, and when you go to a place like Sydney, it doesn't even feel like
Mm-mm.
Australia. It feels like China, or it feels like, to be honest, like when you go to dating apps, for example, on when you're
Yeah.
in the city, you
Yeah.
won't see any white person on the dating app. Like, I swear.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's
Very
all
interesting.
Asians, very immigrant, which
Yeah.
which speaks so much about how immigrant friendly they are in like
Mm-mm.
Sydney. But when you go to
True.
a place like
True.
mine, Wollongong, like 4 years ago,
Yeah.
it's 3 years ago. Sorry, it's still a bit, yeah, getting there. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. But the studying bit is fun. And syempre,
Mm-mm.
kita daan competitive, kita ya, like,
Yes, of course.
do
Have
ka
you
dapat.
made a lot of international have you made a lot of international friends, or are you friends mostly with Filipinos there? How's your social
Um,
dynamics?
I think I didn't, wala gid kuya Pinoy nga friend because wala gid ya Pinoy sa amon
Mm-mm.
uni. I mean, may mga
Mm.
Pinoy, but they were born here, like
Mhm.
FBAs, we call them, like Filipino-born Australians. No, sorry,
Uh-huh.
ABFs, Australian-born Filipinos.
Born
Um,
Filipinos, yeah.
yeah. So, and akon network, kag akon friends, mostly international students, and because
Yeah.
you kumbaga sa Miagao, you are in the same struggle and headspace.
Mhm.
I think with like
Yeah.
immigrants and international students. So amo na nga daw sila guro akon first point of contact in terms of having friends, and it starts from there, like kagamay siya nga
Yeah.
network when you are in the
Yeah.
international student space, like friends of friends of friends of friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ivan Cathy is messaging us. Hi, Ivan. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Hi.
Oi, oi, oi. I should have
I
asked
just
her, but I'm gonna have a separate interview with you, Catch. We'll have a different topic. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I have a lot of Australian friends. Kathy being one, yeah. And now I want to ask Van. Have you actually, in a way, internalized, or have uh, parang is it in your system now when it comes to your accent, your English? Are you using Australian English now, or as far as accent is concerned, whatever, however you call
I
it?
can't. I don't even know how I sound. But yesterday, or I mean the other day at work, somebody asked me if I was from New York, and I'm like, "Oh, thank you."
Oh
But
my god!
I sound like I'm from Kado ka Dream City. Kaya ba lang,
Oh yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
I just noticed your accent is so American. I was like, "Oh, yeah, because the Americans were in our country for a long time." So
The Americans are in your
yun mo,
country.
yun mo. Yang iyang
Yeah.
statements ako. So yeah, I think mostly people think that I'm from the US more than being
Mm-mm.
Filipino, or yeah, kay grabe gid ya ka American gali sa aton accent. Like wala ko gid na realize
Yes.
since I mean, na-realize ko lang sa akin ako din na like maski ang the words like military and military are
Uh,
two different
military.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
My
kita dahil
God.
ako
What an
military.
exciting yeah, it's so exciting to actually like have a shift, no? I mean, you learn all these things na outside because we are so really American. Our English is really American,
Very
Vijaya.
American. And then when you talk to people from South America, for example, and they even have
Mm,
thicker accents, it's just so nice to
mm.
hear. Is that how I sound like or something? Namin nga i-compare. But yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So moving forward now, because you have actually had quite a number of jobs there, I think it's safe to say that you have integrated yourself in the Australian way of of life. So
yeah.
I want to ask, how do you make sure that your creative sensibilities, especially for the nature of your job, which you can tell us about, um, into the Australian cultural context, is there a unique expectation as far as creative deliverables are concerned, or it's pretty general, or it's global or local? What do you think?
I think I'm gonna split this answer into two. Firstly, expectation for work is
Mm-mm.
that number one, they really think that immigrants in general are more hardworking than others
Oh my gosh! Wow.
because we want to prove something. I think that's a
Yeah.
very generic and safe answer to say.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um, Secondly, w- grabe gid ya aton work ethic. Like I can
Mm-mm.
totally say
Mm-mm.
that, like we, maybe because I'm Filipino or we are Filipinos, we always want
Yeah.
to impress people um in a
Yeah.
good way. There's bad
Yeah.
things in a way, but like we
Yeah.
always want to make sure that we leave a good impression to people. And sadly, I mean, like sadly, others take that the wrong way. But like, may alagid yeah, like
Mm-mm.
for example, kita. Like we really want to make a good impression to people. And
Mhm.
yeah, and the second part of that argument, I think, is from the creative sensibility side. I think being an
Yeah.
immigrant or being a Filipino gives a different perspective in terms of creative work. For example, in
Mhm.
my job in marketing, I
Mhm.
put out a lot of content on our EDMs or electronic digital mails and digital displays. And I
Mhm.
always want to ensure that I am represented in a way. That sounds really cliche, but when you are on this side of the planet, you don't really feel represented unless you see yourself somewhere. And that affects how other people
How do
treat
you
you.
how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you make sure that you are represented in your work without
So this is
actually,
yeah,
I'm sure you're being very subtle about it, right?
yeah. So this is a classic example, right? I was watching at I'm not even gonna say the brand, but like a Filipino
Okay.
brand of a shopping center. You probably know
Yes.
where I'm going. Um, they put out an ad
Hey,
on COVID.
friends.
They put out an ad on COVID, and it all showed
Mm.
white people. And in my mind, nobody goes to the mall looking like that. Like nobody goes to the mall or and shops wearing heels, blonde
Mm.
hair, and just that
Mhm.
doesn't happen. Whereas here,
Mm.
part of my job is to ensure that the photos I use, the media I use, are inclusive and all that. So that's another breed of creativity. I'm like, that your social
Yeah.
impact brain and your creative brain overlaps because you need to ensure that or make sure not ensure like make sure that these things are covered in what you do. Like I need to make sure that there's a woman in the photo or there's a black woman in the photo or like there's like it's very inclusive. So I'm gonna aside
Maybe
some
Van,
creative
that's how it
sensibility.
is there. Maybe that's
Yeah,
how it
yeah.
is there
Which
because
is really
first,
good.
yeah, it's great. It's great. But
Yeah.
maybe because people there are more conscious and reactive at the same time. Like, I think your brand, whatever you're working on, in this example, is conscious of the backlash if it is not inclusive, and then their niche, speaking of niche, naman would react and would call them out. I think that's what they're worried about. Am I
Yeah,
right?
that's true. And from a business perspective, you also attract a different type of audience and
Yeah.
probably an audience that has more money than what
Yeah.
you think has money. And
Yeah.
and yeah, from that perspective, you realize na me that I'm here in a company where I do what I do because I have a purpose, like in a way na
Yeah.
I know that I can represent where I come from, and I think that's my answer to your. Those are my answer to your
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Your creative sensibilities come from a different perspective. Like it comes
Yeah.
from a different take off point. Whereas,
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Where
yeah,
do you, that's great, man. I remember you sharing with us that story back, back then. That I think this is a pre-COVID or COVID time na, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
COVID time.
COVID
Yeah.
time. Yeah. Um what are your sources of creativity, Van? Where do you get inspiration from?
Um, Number one, I think I really wanna follow people on Instagram. I'm gonna ginambal ko before. I'm gonna ginambal ko
Yeah.
before that
How
you
much time do you spend on Instagram like looking at people's posts?
No, it's not even about the post. I think it's the random sightings of creative things for
Ah,
me.
okay. So whatever you catch up on lang. That's it.
Yeah, and this is where I'm going with my arguments, like what I've shared with your other video last time. It's like you need to curate what you see
Curate.
on
Yeah.
Instagram, like especially for a creative like me. Wow, a creative
Yeah.
like me. Is that I want to be fueled by what's new all the time, or like what
Mm,
works, or
mm.
what's in trend, or what can I
Yeah.
improve, and you can only see that through being inspired, I guess. And this is where
Mm.
the word inspired again is controversial
Yeah.
in the creative
Yeah.
world, is because what is inspired and what is
Yeah.
copied versus what is
Yeah.
original. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah. And for me,
Pero
yeah, and
for the
yeah,
benefit lang of our viewers who are probably not aware, how do you curate? Like what is curation on social media? Because I'm sure a lot of people probably is like they probably have no idea that they can actually curate their own brand, right?
Yeah,
How does it
yeah.
happen? How do
I
people
like
curate?
Yeah, I like that you mentioned the word brand because I think the idea of curation is now dead. That's just my personal opinion. Um,
Uh-huh.
Gone are the days where your Instagram has to be all yellow or your Instagram has to be all black and white or your Instagram has to be all red or I'm only gonna post
Yeah,
photos of my dog or of a nice coffee. I think
yeah,
people want to see these days the person behind, in my case, for example, the brand, or if you're a
yeah,
content creator yourself, they
yeah,
want to see what you do in real life
yeah,
versus a curated content of wow, amo ka ginaya magsuksok sapatos. Really, amo
yeah,
ginaya. Okay, I would rather see someone post an organic, real content versus someone very curated. Mas naman, I think mas pleasing lang siya sa mata these days to look at real people posts, not curated
yeah,
content. Like, yeah.
yes,
And going back to your question, it's like, what is curation? For me, it's seeing someone's face on the post is what curation is. Like, gone are
that's
the
nice.
days where it's all about trendy and artsy
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So you want to see real people posting organic stuff, meaning you want to know the actually what the person is doing or how they live their lives, right? Pero
Yeah.
what about if the person is already an established personality, wherein the private life is actually something that no one can really break into, and we only know the person, or yeah, we only know the personality on that level, on what they choose to show. Should they sustain that curated content, or are people now shifting towards a more organic post, even super celebrities, even super personalities or super influencers? What's the trend as far as your knowledge is concerned? Because I know you are so updated with these things, and I cannot actually keep up anymore. That's why I'm asking.
I think I think people are now more inclined to post things that not only matter to them but should matter to the society. Um,
Yeah.
Di ba, doon ko may question na if you're a celebrity, you should not post about politics because you're a celebrity and that's not
Yes.
your area of expertise because you're a celebrity.
What do you think?
But
What do you
for
think about that?
me, for me, why do you have to be why do you need to be a celebrity if you can't use your platform to influence goodness to the world? Like,
Yeah.
sino na iabi ang ma-fill sang gap nga na. That's why you
Yeah.
are put in that pedestal by people who adore you because they want to see you influence other people too. And if you don't want to use that platform to influence goodness, then
Yeah.
why are you there?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my take on that. But ano ba yung question?
I mean, yeah, so the established personalities can choose
Oh
to
yeah, yeah,
stay
yeah, yeah.
curated. Yeah.
I think they can still stay curated as long as you have the energy to commit to it. Like because
Yeah.
it takes so much energy
Yeah.
to
I know.
limit yourself onto what you
Yeah.
can share socials. Like I
Yeah.
think not a lot of people think about that. They're like, oh, wala gid siya post ng iyang mga happenings in life. But I think a lot of people also forget that it takes so much energy not to post on socials in the same way that it takes so much energy to post. And
Yeah. Yeah.
doka it's a if you have the energy to remain consistent to your brand, which is I'm only gonna post, I don't know, once a year, which so
Yeah.
many people like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like mo na tao, but then they're always active all the time. So kung may amo ka ng energy, then why not? Which I think makes you, for me, from an influencer perspective, but mas intriguing siya sa akin.
Yeah.
So
True.
elusive ka as a
Yeah.
creative. And so many creatives right now are deleting content from their
Old.
socials, like some
Yeah.
yeah, old content from their socials and make it seem like they were not judge like 7 years ago because their
Yeah.
socials is empty.
Actually, actually, now that you're telling me this, I think yeah, I'm doing that. My Instagram posts, I've taken out a lot, like more than half of my content, and
Yeah.
I, yeah, I did not know that this is a thing now. I just did it because I just felt like those are some of the irrelevant things, and yeah, so I'm glad to hear that parang it has become parang a new
Yeah, it's
way of
become a thing.
rebranding
Like
also.
so many
Because
influencers.
you're different when you were young and you were posting
Yeah,
shit before. So, 'di ba? I mean, you
yeah.
mature,
Oh
so
my God.
you own up to it
You
and you
can,
become
yeah.
better.
If you can open my Twitter, like it's so bad.
You know,
Looking,
Ivan, don't talk to me about Twitter. I've been through hell and
I
trouble
know.
with Twitter. So yes,
Yeah,
we know
looking
that.
back.
We know that world very well. That's what I'm trying to say. Pero Van, who do you like most on Instagram na local? Someone from Iloilo that you like so much as far as content is concerned. I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot, but you have to
Wait.
name names.
Content on the spot. Instagram. Oh my gosh,
Ang the one gid
local.
nga doon na namian ka gid. Nga nanamian ka.
Namian, kuday lang ang taon ko sino ako mga gina-follow. Sino ako mga gina-follow?
Other than your friends, like kami, like Charmy, B, oh, hindi na lang kami pag-i-name. Ang iba na lang.
Okay. Charot. I think I'm gonna start with international
Ah,
siguro.
sige. Go.
Namian ko sang not really namian ko sang content ni Remjo. Ay,
Mm.
dili ko siya sa mong sakon feed.
Yeah, yeah,
Remjo
yeah.
the Bill,
Okay.
namian ko sang namian gyud daan kay Remjo mag-edit.
Yeah.
Namian ko kay consistent gyud siya sa iya self, like halin sa una
Yes.
sang before long story na deactivate ang Instagram ni Remjo and Facebook. But then I like people who
Ilan yung
are
followers?
consistent about their brand. Why ko kabalo? Wait, hi
Ah, okay.
Rem. Anyway, um, sino pa namian ko man? Namian ko mag-follow mga architecture accounts.
Oh my God,
meron
yeah.
okay, ba ako sino ako namian? Sige.
Sino?
Um, I don't know sinong gahandle sa account nila, but namian ko sa Lahubre na account.
Who?
Wait.
What is that? Is it an architecture
It's
account?
their interior design studio
Ah,
sa
interior design.
Iloilo. Hindi magiging
Hmm.
super curated nila Instagram, pero gusto tayo tao, no? Wait, I don't know.
It's okay. It's
I don't
okay.
know,
But
dahil
I mean, ako, I'm more inclined in like mga photography, portraits, and like I don't know, with people with brands. Sometimes they are also very specific about their posts, diba? Like it's just glam shots and
yeah,
so on. So I was even talking to to sila Bem lately about Rabia and how she manages her content. I think she also needs to kind of work on it. No ba, no? Kaya daw puro lang gid gawa glam shots, and I think she has to also come up with something more organic. But ako personally, I
God. That's
understand her
funny,
because
'cause I
sometimes
was
I think
looking.
she's very busy siguro. Ang muna balahaw. Hindi niya na ma-take care ang ina. But I think she should have someone to manage that, right? I mean, that's
They
just me.
call it
And
ghost. They call it ghost um, personas. Is that
oh,
someone posts on behalf of you? And I think Rabia needs to find someone who
yeah.
might speak the same language as her
Yeah.
without
Parang it has to be
telling.
her voice on the post, right?
Yeah, but it needs to be a really good content writer who is like, "Hi
Mm-mm.
guys, it's Rabia today," blah blah blah. But it's not actually her, which is hello, Catriona Gray.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
they
I
have
know.
access to their
Uh-huh.
Instagram, but it's not them who actually posts everything. Like they
Yeah.
post sometimes, but there's specific count. So Rabia needs to because sorry, Rabia, but like there's
No,
still
this is
a bit.
great advice. So yeah.
No, I reading her post. There's still a little bit of blurry lines in terms of the being genuine on her post. Like, do
Mhm.
wala pagit balaga tagos na this is my brand and this is my social
Mm,
impact. So,
mm.
which she
Yeah,
needs in Miss
yeah,
Universe. Like, which was what's really good with Catriona
yeah,
is like everything was on brand. Like,
yeah. Pero
Yeah,
I think kasi si Rabia, she already has an advantage because damo gid na namian sa iya on a global scale. Even if they're all speculative admiration pa lang. But the point is she can take advantage of that, right? And make her content even more relevant to these people. Kay do kadako na gid subong sang expectations from her. So I really also feel for her, di ba? Do kaluoy man nga kadasig sang kalatabo, and then the expectations are also like in that magnitude. The scale is just kind of very much to carry as far as that is concerned.
yeah, true. And I think she should know. I mean, I think their team will know how much impact
Yeah, I
your
hope
social
so.
media presence and brand
Yeah.
affects your chances of winning. Um, yeah, because people want to see their brand, especially say that like Miss Universe wants to see the Miss Universe brand on the person.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
right now, where everything is switching into social impact and in that space, like I think that Guru Sirabia needs to focus in terms of like her
And
creative.
I love how you actually with the many actually topics that we are covering tonight, no, you're very consistent about the idea that nowadays you people should be conscious. If there's one takeaway that I think I can mention out of this conversation is people should be conscious about how relevant their posts are and if it will reverberate to the people who either follow them or to the people they reach randomly. What do you think?
I have a mantra in my brain every time I post something on Instagram. It's like,
Yeah.
will I like this post a year from now?
How many years from now? 10 years from now?
Just 1 year from now.
Just 1 year. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
A lot
like,
of things can
will
happen
I?
in 1 year, though.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, am I gonna regret the way this photo looks, or the way I worded these things, or the way I
Yeah.
posted this a year from now? And I think if a
I
lot
love
of
that.
people think in a way that before you press the word post, asking yourselves, am I gonna regret this, or am I gonna like this post 1 year from now? If not,
Yeah.
don't post.
I love
Simple
that.
as
And
that.
guys, those of you who are watching, you may also want to have that mantra. So before you post
Yeah,
something, ask yourself if after 1 year you will feel
yeah,
embarrassed about it or you will be proud of yourself. Yeah,
yeah.
but true. I
I
mean,
wish
that's a
I
great
had
mantra.
that mantra when I was using Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
no regrets. Those were part of our youth, and I've had my share as well. You know that. I mean, mine went a little bit overboard. I was sued for my Twitter post. Yeah, but those were the days,
those
and
were days.
no regrets. We learned from that, diba?
Yeah, but yeah, that's the mantra. Like, am I gonna regret this post? Even start with, am I gonna regret this post 1 minute from now? Am I gonna regret
Yeah.
this post 1 month from now? Am I gonna regret this
Yeah.
post 1 year from now? That's it.
Well, if people will start having that mantra van, I think they will have to delete like 80% of their posts starting tonight because they probably will regret a lot.
Yeah, especially on
Okay.
Facebook.
Yeah. So, well, for our like in a way, the way to close this show, I always ask my guests a little something that they want to say to everyone that watch. Because although we might not have a great number of viewers on the live stream, actually this stays on the recording, and I always end up getting really a lot of views from everyone much later when I check the statistics. So I just want you, Van, to if you can say something to the people, to the young people, particularly those who are looking forward to earning a spot in the creative industry, like those who think being in the creative industry, like us. I mean, we are both in the creative industry. What advice can you give to these young people who are yet to embark in this journey of being part of the creative industry?
I think I only have two. Number one, learn from people you think are better than you. That applies to
Awesome.
whether it's in person or online or on LinkedIn, or people who just you think are better than you. Just
Yeah.
surround yourself with those people. And I think The second one is invest in your talent, and a specific one at that, at a very early age. A lot of creatives are always, I'm gonna do everything and I'm really good at this and blah blah. I think honing in one and finding what you really, it's good to experiment in a lot of things, but when you think you have something that you really wanna, like something that gives you a spark when you do it, or something that gives you a more creative fuel, like focus on that and just invest on that talent. So yeah, as a creative, those are the two things that are, I think, very important to me. Like you always learn from different creatives, and I know there's a lot of jealousy and issues in the creative world, but like in my case, for example, like marketing is a very team sport. Like
Yeah,
most of your most creative ideas doesn't even, I don't even come from a formal meeting. It comes from your banter with other people. It comes from your
true,
conversation over
true.
chat. Like if you surround yourself and talk to people all the time and bounce off ideas with them, that's when you know that, like, you generate the best ideas that you can. So
That's right. And
that's it.
I mean, speaking from experience with you and me and Kevin, our best ideas happen when we're drinking. Like,
Yeah,
we're just talking, very spontaneously, right? I miss those times, you being here and how we brew things together at the
at
brewery or
brewery.
wherever.
Yeah, yeah. I
Well,
think it's
yeah, and yeah, thank you so much for sharing your insights and your experience. And I hope that everyone watching tonight will be able to take home with them some very relevant pieces of advice that you may be able to use because hey, the next school year is about to happen, and Ivan, there's no upcut this year. I'm sure you know that.
what?
So
I didn't know. What do
no
you
upcut
mean?
because they cannot conduct the exams due to the pandemic. So they
So
will
there's no students as well?
they will get this batch, but through I think grading algorithm plus I think departmental interviews and
Yeah.
essays, things like that, like Harvard style, but
Yeah.
no entrance exam because they cannot do that like for a face-to-face physical examination. So
Yeah.
this is going to be a unique year, one of
Oh,
the I think the only year that the entire batch entered UP without an upcut. But you
yeah.
know this is a
Yeah.
special
I
year. It's a
forgot to
different.
say something about
Yes.
nalipat. Yeah, ako gusto ihambal that when I saw the word creativity, is something that I wanted to say to other creatives, especially when
Yeah.
you're in the job market. It's like you're not inferior to other fields. In fact,
Oh yeah,
sometimes you're
yeah, because people have the
sometimes you're
tendency to look down on
yeah.
creative, right?
Yeah, whereas for me, like guys, this company is nothing without all your creatives. Like, period.
But Van, if you are in a first world country like Australia, creativity is given premium. And I'm sure you have felt that,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Um,
Like,
right.
grabe.
But the
Grabe. I
problem
mean,
here in the Philippines is we are still stuck with the old, mindset that creativity it doesn't have money there. When people choose to go for creative careers, they are actually discouraged because they people think that there's really no future there as far as financial security is concerned, diba? And I
yeah,
wish it will change very soon, especially now that
I hope so.
industries are
I
looking
hope
for
so.
creative people.
Yeah, I mean, like, your creative skills are so hard to teach. You can teach someone how to inoculate a bacteria in a petri dish, but you will never be able to teach someone to visualize something. Like, that
Mhm.
is something that comes from experience, from background, from exposure to other stuff. And don't think inferior. Like, I have so many graphic designer friends who
Mhm.
are now venturing in the data visualization world,
Yeah,
or that type of, like, just explore avenues and how you're able to monetize your creative
true.
skills. Like, that's it. So
But also, Van, to also not kind of not offer false hopes to people. creativity, the one thing I learned also from my mentors, I mean Kevin being one
Yeah.
of them, is that creativity, it's either you have it or you don't.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, although you can work around different strengths areas, sometimes you don't know at all because you don't look for it, or you don't really explore and search for it. So I guess, yeah, creativity is a very elusive thing. Ivan mentioned that today earlier, Kagina. But it is something that will give you so much joy if you discover it, because that is something that actually, creativity is like really a gift, no Van, no? Like it
Yeah.
borders on like a certain sense of spirituality, a gift. It's like you breathe it, like, and then you live it. I think that's I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe.
I think you need to expose and be exposed as well
Yeah.
if you want to
Yeah.
be in that world. Like, it's
True.
not something that stays with you forever, even if you
Yeah.
have it. Like, you're gonna
True.
lose touch of things if you don't fuel yourself. And I think that's what
Right.
I really like about KPP. Sorry,
Yeah.
Kevin. For those
Kevin.
listening.
KPP.
Um, is you always wanna inspire yourself, because in that way you can inspire others too. That's how my creative mind works. Like, I want to be able to expose myself in things that fuel my imagination, or like how I see colors, even if I'm colorblind, because that's how it works. You
Well,
don't really.
KPP is colorblind also, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But wow, yeah, listening to you say that, I'm just so proud of you, and you have really, I think you have really grown maturely.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
how life
I think
has
it's
taught
just.
you.
Yeah, I think it's just different when you're able to reconcile. Reconcile is not the word, but like, meet the creative world and the logical world. Like, this is what I
Yeah.
always say. It's like, because I took economics as my undergrad,
Yes.
and like,
Yeah.
and I'm very thankful that I did that, because as a creative, I think
Yeah.
being a what's arts, right brain,
Mm.
being a right brain
I'm not
person,
sure, huh? I'm not sure. I might say
being
something wrong, but
be,
yeah, one half of it is that, and one
yeah,
half is the logic.
yeah, being a half brain. Like, I think
Half
I
brain.
needed that logical training in order to
Yeah.
keep myself leashed in the creative world. Okay,
Yeah.
for example, in events, going
Hmm.
back to like events, for example,
Yeah.
so many people are just like, oh, gusto ko gid na ya i-mount ang amo ni nga design sa amo na nga stage. But like, my
Yeah.
head goes, gusto mo i-mount, pero does the facility allow you to
Yeah.
mount
Yeah.
that? Like,
Allow you. Yeah.
I think so many creatives are just wanting to do stuff all the time without thinking about how to actually do it, and that's when they
Yeah.
fail for me. Like,
Yeah.
and I think I'm very happy that
I
I
learned
got.
something from our friend in Rojas, Van, na
Yeah,
parang there are creatives, but they're only good with projections to
yeah,
project, but not actually to make it happen. So
yeah,
thank you for that, no, Marika. I got it from her, and I
yeah.
learned
That
that,
is
yeah, a lot of
so
people
true.
might fall into that pit na nami
Yeah,
ilang bala mag drawing, pero when to actually do it, it will not make it possible.
different.
So
Yeah,
that's, I think that, yeah,
yeah,
that's
and
a
I think
problem.
the in my workplace at the moment, my team is composed of creatives. Our team is composed, not mine. Sorry, like, our
Mm-mm.
team is composed of creatives who come from urban design world or
Mm.
architecture, or like, I even have someone na who was from the maths world, and I'm like,
Yeah,
this is interesting. But then it gives you that logical backing to,
yeah.
like, achieve your creative mind. Like, yeah, that's
Yeah. So while you are diverse people with different backgrounds, but you can actually be all in the same page, no? That's really possible for that kind of job. Yeah.
yeah, true.
Yeah. Well, Van, we have reached the end
Yes.
of the line for today's live stream on Streaming Hot. But I just want to post what Manang Amy commented on our chat today. I learned something new, and she wants to thank you. And Thank you, Manay, for staying with us, of course. And if you know naman how Ivan is, even if like we're always drunk before, like we're drinking, we always learn stuff. What are you drinking now? Is that alcohol?
No, it's tea.
Iced tea?
No, it's just normal.
Iced tea.
Yeah, man. Hey,
Right.
Viva. Hi.
Okay.
Miss you. Okay, thanks,
Yeah,
Dai.
we all miss you here, and
Yeah.
we just can't wait that you get to travel again and visit us here. Do
Oh,
you have plans of coming home when all this is over, or can you actually come home?
yeah, I was supposed to go home daan June last year, but syempre
Yeah, yeah, we
nagka
know the plan. Yeah,
uli. Yeah, I really want to go home, but we will never know unless the vaccines are, because
yeah,
I think it's gonna be mandatory that if you are to travel internationally, you need to get the vaccine. And not that I'm an anti-vaxxer, but I don't want to get the vaccine. Period.
oh, you don't want to get the vaccine?
I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
we'll save that for another
That's another
discussion.
conversation. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Let's involve our friends, Bem Bem and the
Yes.
med students. Like
Yes.
Robin, sending us hearts. Thank you, Robs, for staying with us. We miss you
I
also.
miss
She's in
him, yeah.
Manila, Bane.
I
Yep.
know. She drinks good wine. I've noticed.
And her
Tenfold.
med school.
I know. Social.
Okay.
Naka-tenfold.
So anyway, Van, well, we'll have to say goodnight to everyone because it's been an hour and there's lamok here around me. But anyway, it's Sunday evening here, and thank God the rain has stopped. I hope it has also stopped in other parts of the Visayas, and we pray for our friends and the people in Negros. We've seen the news that there has been some heavy flooding in the northern part of the island in Negros. So I hope you guys stay safe, and I hope that all will be well soon. So this has been a wonderful episode again. Thank you, Ivan, so much for your time. I know it's midnight there in Australia, but we really appreciate
Sunday
your
morning.
yeah. Oh yeah, Monday morning na. Thank you, Gidvan, and always take care. And I really hope we can do this again whenever time
Yes.
permits. Okay,
Yeah.
everyone,
Yeah.
thank you very much for joining us. Have a great evening, and we'll see you again next week. I don't know